Nini? Mimi roho yangu impendi hata kidogo.
Hapana, mzee, mimi naona pia nyinyi mko comfortable sana. Nyinyi mmekubali.
There's nothing going on between Trish and I.
Maybe you are just waiting for a ring and some cakes because you are married.
I hope sio vita, Mark.
These are my people. We broke up. Go find your own people.
Excuse me?
Jabali aliibiwa.
Pesa ngapi?
Pesa mingi, Mark.
Ni kama ngapi hivi?
Tumuulize.
Say bye-bye to FOMO, the fear of missing out, by downloading the KBC Online app that gives you access to everything you love. Get the latest news, sports, music, entertainment news, live TV, live radio, and so much more at the palm of your hand. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital App in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital App.
From the broadcasting house in the county of Nairobi, this is the great KBC, and you're just in time for KBC Lunchtime News. Many thanks for keeping me company. My name is Njue, and Brian Muraru will be my colleague on the sign language interpretation. Welcome to our live coverage of the day's events of the headlines shaping up the news conversation in the country at this hour. And we'll begin straight from Milimani Law Courts. But we'll begin from the Milimani Law Courts, where the impeachment trial against the impeached Deputy President Gachagua is currently undergoing. And at 2:30, the court is expected to be back for the hearing, and also they will be ruling on a recusal application in regards to the bench. My colleague Ruth Wamboi has been keeping tabs with the impeachment trial at the Milimani Law Courts and now joins us live with more detailed and robust coverage of the impeachment at the Milimani Law Courts. Eve Wamboi, good afternoon. If you can hear me, kindly bring us up to speed with the latest from the Milimani Law Courts and what we expect, and especially on the recusal that was the application that was ruled yesterday, where the court said, indeed, the bench is properly constituted. Over to you, Wamboi.
Thank you so much, Njue, back from the studio. We are here at Milimani High Court, closely following on what is transpiring here from this end. You understand that the bench just adjourned exactly at 12:15 p.m. so that it can come back at 2 p.m. During the morning session, the bench consolidated all the matters and put them under two cohorts. Cohort 1 and Cohort 2. So when the matter will start to be heard, it will be heard under those two cohorts. It will not be the different files and petitions that have been over 30 of them. They are now just under two categories, Cohort 1 and Cohort 2. Now the bench has directed that it will hear the recusal application by petitioners from 2:30 p.m. and that's what we are eagerly waiting to hear from 2:30 p.m. And I have tried to have a grab of the application from the petitioners on what issues they will be raising when the sitting start at 2:30 p.m. and I've been able to gather information that one of the things that they will be raising is non-material disclosure by the bench. What do I mean by non-material disclosure? I mean that the petitioners cite that they have credible information that one of the judge by the name Justice Anthony Murima is a very close associate of the Deputy President nominee Kithure Kindiki. And therefore, by him not disclosing that he is a friend of the Deputy nominee Kithure Kindiki, that one will jeopardize the case on the part of the petitioners. So they will be coming to say that they are not comfortable having Justice Anthony Murima on that basis in that bench. I have also tried and gathered, and I have also heard that they're also poking holes on the lead bench judge, the presiding judge, Justice Eric Ogola. They are citing that Justice Eric Ogola's wife works at Kenya Water Towers Board, and by working there, it means that he was appointed. He was appointed by the president himself, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, to that position. And by him, when the bench was constituted, by him not disclosing that his wife was appointed by the president, William Samoei Ruto, to that position to have he chairs a board there at Kenya Water and Towers Board. That is a very crucial information that he should have disclosed before being appointed as the lead bench judge in this case. They're also citing that when the bench sat on Saturday, due to those two factors of the two judges, Justice Anthony Murima and Justice Eric Ogola, they were trying to help their masters because they have been helped in one way or another. They are close associate with the highest office in this land, and therefore they will be seeking to convince the bench to recuse themselves because they do not see that they will get a fair trial in this matter. So in the afternoon session, they will be raising those two crucial issues that are mentioned to our viewers, and others that they are lining up, that they will be trying to persuade the bench to recuse itself, because basing on those issues that they have raised, they are saying that they do not believe in that bench being the way it's constituted. So they will be seeking for the bench to recuse itself, and Chief Justice Martha Koome, who is the President of the Supreme Court of Kenya, to appoint a new bench that will hear this matter. And also you saw that the respondents also want the hearing of the setting aside of the conservatory orders also done today. So the bench has a very hefty packaged diary in the afternoon, because they will hear the recusal part, then also hear setting aside of the orders, because you understand the conservatory orders were lapsing today on 24th of October. So if they are not extended, then it means it will be a problem to the petitioners, because now if the orders are not extended, they are set aside, then we have a window to have the new deputy nominee Kithure Kindiki sworn in office. So those are the issues that are going to be discussed when the bench comes from lunch at 2:30 p.m. and we are keenly following up on the matter to update our viewers in our subsequent bulletin, and also we are live, so our viewers can follow up on the matter live from here. Back to you, Ben Troy.
Thank you. That has been Ruth Wamboi, live from the Milimani locus, and to be specific, in the court that is actually carrying out the trial of impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And I believe from what she has broken down for us is that the Kenyans will be waiting to see if the court will leave the conservatory orders that the Kirinyaga court issued on Friday, stopping the swearing in of the Professor Kithure Kindiki, who I believe is the Deputy President designate, not nominee, as earlier stated. But still on the impeachment, the Senate and the National Assembly, Professor Kithure Kindiki and other respondents in the impeachment case of impeached Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua have asked the High Court to prioritize hearing the application seeking to set aside the Kerugoya Court conservatory orders. The orders issued in Kirinyaga stop the swearing in of Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki as the next Deputy President. However, Gachagua and petitioners through their counsels argued the orders were to remain in office until the case is heard and determined. The the three-judge bench has adjourned the hearing to 2:30 p.m. after giving directions to how to proceed with the issues. It is also expected to rule on whether to recuse itself from the impeachment case or not.
That were issued in Kerugoya, and in our understanding, from our interpretation, once the file was referred to this court, the orders expire today. That's our understanding. We do not want to do anything outside the law. We would request, my Lord, that we be heard today if it's possible, because the orders expire today.
If the orders are to expire today, then that will be at midnight. My Lord, the day is not yet over. We have applications in the afternoon. We are also affected by those orders. And my Lord, I suggest after the applications today, then we can discuss that matter before the court adjourns.
That pending the hearing and determination of this application inter parties, this honorable court be pleased to grant the orders that were granted. That is therefore to mean, your lordship, that question that senior counsel was raising has no sitting in the pleadings before you.
No party will be allowed to take the court in circles. So I ask you, respond to the pleadings, file your petitions, respond to them. Don't come and ask for leave in a manner to suggest that you want to take this court in circles. We'll meet at 2:30.
And away from the impeachment at the Milimani locals, the International Labour Organization is collaborating with the government of China to extend social protection to workers in the informal economies in Kenya and Lao PDR, while leveraging digital transformation through South-to-South cooperation. The two-year project, with an allocation of about $1 million US, approximately 130 million Kenya shillings, annually, is expected to ensure more persons in the informal economies are onboarded in social protection. An estimated 16 million Kenyans are in the informal sector. Labour Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua is calling on those in the informal economies to register themselves with community-based organizations to be incorporated in the project.
We want to say if these people are here economically in terms of poverty, that we can measure that in 3 years we want them to be here. That for government to be able to support you, for you to be able to access credit, for you to be able to access support, you need to register yourself in a CBO or register a company, because that is the only way we can be able to support you.
Extending social protection to this group is not just an obligation but a necessity if we are to realize the transformative goals we aspire to.
Elsewhere, a crime suspect has been lynched by an irate mob at Tombo Market in Malava after allegedly being involved in a series of theft cases. The chief of Sulugal location, Harrison Jacob Moyundo, confirmed that the lynched suspect was a resident of Kamukunywa, Bungoma County, who has been staying with his uncle in Kakamega.
Japata habari alikuwa ametenda kitendo gani. Meambiwa tu alitoka naye Matete, kufika hapa ndio hiyo kisanga ambayo imetokea kumchoma. Ngali tunaendelea na uchunguzi, na ningelisi tu wakazi wangu wa Silungai location, wananchi wa Tombo, tuwe na utulifu wakati serikali inaendelea na uchunguzi. Watu wa nyumba 10, my village elders, tushikane pamoja ili tuweze kuona ya kwamba hao uhalifu ambao inafanyikana iwe reported kwa serikali, ndio uchunguzi ifanye. Sio vizuri kuchukua sheria mkononi mwako.
To county number 14 now, where residents of Gikingire village in Manyata constituency, Embu County, are celebrating the launch of the last mile power connectivity in the area. Speaking at a public participation event at Gikingire Shopping Center, the residents expressed confidence that the electricity connection will unlock the area's economic potential.
Tutasaidia watoto na wazazi wao, manake sasa masomo itakuwa rahisi, hata kama ni kompyuta itakuwa ni rahisi kuoperate. Kuna wale wadogo ambao wanasoma na wakifanya stand wanafanya na ile kata mbaya ndogo inaitwa andika. Hiyo inawasumbua, inaharibu macho, inaambukiza breathing system, na tunaona sasa watoto wetu watasoma kwa njia nzuri.
Tunatarajia stima ikuje, at least tuizi upunguze huku, maduka tujenge, manyumba tujenge, sababu stima unajua inaleta maendeleo mengi sana.
Watoto wetu wale wamemalisha shule wataweka kazi hapa kama ya wedding, wasichana wataweka kazi ya saloon, hata ya kinyozi, na ndio tunaona tutaendelea sana.
Another news, a section of residents and parents of Kawaida Nursery School in Kiambaa constituency, Kiambu County, have raised alarm of alleged land grabbing of the nursery school, calling on Governor Kimani Wamatangi to intervene. The parents claim the land grabber has halted the construction of the early childhood development education class, which was ongoing at the institution. The parents are now demanding the governor to scrap off the board of trustees that was managing the land before demarcation and revert it back to Kiambu Land's office to avert confusion over ownership of the land.
Tungeomba tu kwa heshima kama kuna mashamba yote ambayo ni ya serikali ambayo ni ya umma iweze kuzingirwa na iweze kuzingirwa ili wakati wananchi wa umma wote ambao wako hapa wajue hilo shamba ni ya wananchi lakini sio ya mtu, kwa sababu kuna mambo mengi ambayo imeonekana hapa katika Kiambu. Unakuta mtu anaenda ananyakua shamba ya wananchi na anasema ni yake.
We want to call upon the governor to come in and fight for Kawaida people so that we can have this nursery continue. And we are having a lot of children here.
To the border town of Busia, where drama ensued at Lugulu Primary School in Butula after students ejected locals who had stormed the school over alleged irregularities in the school's tendering process. The resident had accused the school's head teacher of showing favoritism in awarding construction tenders. A confrontation then ensued between the students and the locals, polarizing learning for the better part of the day. The students ejected the residents, accusing them of interfering with their learning.
Advertiziwa na ikapewa namba 2 mwenye hakufikisha ile pass mark, na hawakutupatia barua ya kutuambia ni kwa nini waliamua kunyima yule namba 1 ile tender. Na baada ya tender kila kitu kumalizika, they took a lot of time for the verdict to come out, and they never brought the verdict to the public domain. I'm giving out the head teacher and the Lugulu Primary School fraternity with all the board. I'm giving them 72 hours, which is 3 days, to either re-advertise the tender ama wapatie yule mtu ambaye alishinda hiyo tender kakuwa namba 1.
Tendering procedure ni kitu yenye constitutional na kuna procedure inafaa itumike. Mtu alianza kumwaga material kitambo. Barua ya regret evaluation inafaa ifanyike immediate enough evaluation 7 days, after which mtu anapewa 14 days ya kumeka appeal. Hata regrets letters zijapeanwa kwa wale watu walipoteza, but material ilishaanza kumwaga.
And moving on, parents in Tana Delta Sub-County in Tana River County have been urged to monitor their children during a long December holiday to ensure they engage in productive activities in environments where their safety is prioritized. Speaking in Tarasa Village, competency-based curriculum assistant officer Benson Ndeche noted that a lot of parents fail to fulfill their responsibility, particularly in protecting girls from teenage pregnancies and boys from drug abuse.
Ningechukua fursa hii kuambia wazazi wawe karibu na watoto wao, especially kwa likizo ndefu tunaenda, iko likizo ya miezi 2 na kuna sherehe nyingi sana. Kwa hivyo wawe karibu nao, kuwachunga ipasavyo.
Kwa watoto wanapoenda likizo wakaweze kukaa vizuri na wasisahau kuwa Januari kuna masomo tena.
The national government has been urged to arrange for the construction of more classrooms for the junior secondary school JSS students and employ enough teachers to meet the increasing demand. Kakamega Governor Fernandez Barasa, speaking at Mumia Central Primary School, commended the government's effort in addressing the needs for JSS students, but emphasized that there is a need to recruit more teachers and improve school infrastructure across the country.
I want to call upon the national government through the Minister of Education to improve the infrastructure of our junior secondary. Hii shule yetu ya Mumias Central has the highest enrollment in this region. So we need more infrastructure. We also need more teachers in our junior secondary. So I want to call upon the Minister of Education to expedite employment of more teachers for our junior secondary schools.
And still on education, Mount Kenya University students have come up with an artificial intelligence innovation that allows lecturers to teach virtually without the need for blackboards, whiteboards, or pens. Mount Kenya University's head of innovation, Dr. Donatas Njoroge, highlighted the university's commitment to scaling new heights in research and innovation, assuring the students that their ideas would be protected. The symposium concluded with the Vice Chancellor, Professor Degratius Njagani, presenting the prizes to the winners.
It is a competition to enable students and innovators to come up with AI solutions in the area of education, and we are excited that we got amazing innovations coming from around 70 students.
I've developed a system which allows lecturers and teachers to teach virtually without the need of a blackboard, a pen, or even a whiteboard. By just using their hands, they can write, they can explain mathematical concepts, and also it is integrated to a 3D model whereby you can even interact with electronic components.
Thank you so much, panelists.
Samburu, over 600 people in the county have been empowered on reduction of socio-cultural challenges in the county. The training conducted by the Kenya-Finland bilateral program in partnership with the Samburu County government enlightened the participants on gender-based violence, psychology, counseling, and drug abuse.
Gender-based violence, and I know what I have said, our ladies, our girls, deserve a good life, and we are there to support them. We are there to provide that, and I think those harmful practices should be now left by this time. And us as leaders, we are really committed in that, and I know we are going to help our young ladies.
And the county government of Kiambu has started the construction of cable access roads and 40 solar floodlights in Umoja informal settlements located within Thika municipality. That is the part of the second Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project, KISIP 2, interventions to uplift living conditions. The new cable roads will also feature 36 solar streetlights, efficient drainage systems, and pedestrian walkways. This project will enhance safety during dark hours and extend business working hours, thus boosting local economic activities.
Chote hii kijiji ya Umoja tumeweka mulika mwizi 40. Tuko pamoja jameni? Tumeweka mataa hii ingine ya kawaida, ile mataa ingine ya kuweka kwa street, tunaweka mataa 36 na ingine 36. Yote ni mataa toto ya zaidi ya mataa 100 ambayo tunaweka.
Tulikuwa kuna giza mingi sana, lakini kwa sasa hata kazi zetu zinaenda hadi saa 5 ya usiku. Kama mimi niko na biashara hapa, sina shida sasa.
Very well, at about 24 minutes past the top of the hour, we are due for a fast break. But on the other side of this break, we still have more news, business, and the latest from the world of sports. Keep it Channel 1.
The Institution of Engineers of Kenya, IEK, invites you to the 31st IEK International Convention from 29th October to November 1st, 2024 at the Pride in Paradise Beach Resort, Mombasa. Join over 4,000 delegates under the theme Industrialization for Economic Transformation and Employment Creation to learn, network, and build partnerships to drive Kenya's industrial future. Register now at www.convention.iekenya.org. The Institution of Engineers of Kenya, a leading voice in engineering.
Say bye-bye to FOMO, the fear of missing out, by downloading the KBC Online app that gives you access to everything you love. Get the latest news, sports, music, entertainment news, live TV, live radio, and so much more at the palm of your hands. To get the app, simply search KBC Mobile Digital app in your Google Play or App Store and download the app. Catch what you want, anytime, anywhere. Stay connected. Stay ahead with KBC Mobile Digital app.
Nadhani umefika muda wa kurudi kwa wazazi wangu na mwanangu Maya. Hapa haya ni maji ya shingo na nimeshindwa kabisa kuyaogelea.
Mimi naweza chapwa na mwanamke mimi huyo basi.
Hata wewe mtu mzima haujui kuchunga mzigo wako. Shauri yako.
Welcome back and many thanks for keeping it Channel 1. Let's make sense of business. The Tana and Athi River Development Authority, TARDA, is seeking a strategic investor to fast-track implementation of the Tana Delta Irrigation project that will support rice production. TARDA Managing Director Duba Liban says the authority is rehabilitating the project's key infrastructure that was damaged by the recent heavy rains in readiness for an investor to be secured through a public-private partnership model.
We have received the necessary support required from government. You may have, as you may remember from the last conversation we've had, the project is under discussions for PPP. We are trying to also leverage the project to leverage the private capital, private technology, so that we fully realize the potential of the project in its realization of the national food security goals.
Kwa vile hii miradi yametutengenezewa, tumeshukuru kwa serikali. Wote wametoka hawa, wamekuja kushuhudia sisi, kumpatia hata kuona hii miradi, wametupendelea na sisi wananchi wa Kenya.
Moving on, the Retirement Benefits Authority is stepping up awareness campaigns to sensitize members of the public on the importance of planning for retirement and joining pension schemes. Retirement Benefits Authority Director of Market Conduct and Industry Development, Tom Kiptanui, says the awareness campaigns will mainly target those in the informal sector. Kiptanui has underscored the need for incentives to encourage informal sector workers save for their retirement, acknowledging the unique challenges they face.
The future of this country and the future of pension would actually rely a lot in terms of the implementation of the policy. One thing that comes out, and Sandeep has talked about, is the level of coverage. Currently, we are talking about 26% of the total workforce in this country contributing to pension arrangements. We still have an opportunity out there, mainly in the informal sector. And what we need to do is to make sure that we continue to educate and really be able to reach out to those in the informal sector, ensure that the incentives that come in for people to save more towards retirement are actually implemented.
The pensions infrastructure that we have in Kenya is solid. If we can accommodate wider savings priorities through our pension system, this would be a good step. It would make our pension system more appealing.
The government has abolished the minimum tea buying price, allowing market forces to dictate prices. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Dr. Andrew Karanja says the reserve price is to blame for an increase in unsold tea volumes at the Mombasa tea auction as Kenya Tea lost its competitive edge on pricing concerns.
About 40% of tea produced last year was unsold, meaning about 120 million kilos of tea was lying at the Mombasa tea auction at the start of this year. This is mainly attributed to the minimum tea buying price that was set at $2.43, which saw produce from neighboring countries get a price edge over Kenyan tea.
Due to the interventions we made, suspension of the minimum prices, which we did, the volume of tea which was stuck in Mombasa has significantly gone down.
Dr. Karanja says the reserve tea buying price has been abolished, reverting to the market forces dictating tea pricing at the Mombasa tea auction.
But I can assure the Kenyans, the numbers have come tremendously down from what we had about 70 million to less than 10 million. So we have made good progress and we are going to maintain that policy. And that is why we are saying one of the issues which was there, which was making the tea big stack, is about quality.
Kenya has also initiated talks with a number of Gulf nations to start direct tea shipments as opposed to the current indirect sales through Dubai.
We are looking forward in a new year to go to trade missions. There are countries we have identified, I don't want to mention them by name, it's sometimes diplomatically, but mainly in the Arab world and also in the Mediterranean region.
Dr. Karanja says the government plans to audit Kenya Tea Development Agency's debts. Benson Roba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Last night we had the IGAD Media Awards that was taking place, and the Chief Speaker of Environment Cabinet Secretary Aidan Njue, who has also urged leaders in the Intergovernmental Authority on Development region to invest in creating conducive atmosphere that will allow the media to fully contribute to peace-building efforts. Speaking during IGAD Media Awards Gala in Nairobi, Njue emphasized the essential role of press freedom in fostering dialogue and promoting stability across the region. Leaders who attended the event highlighted the centrality of a robust and independent media in informing citizens, holding the governments accountable and fostering transparency.
As leaders, we must continue to invest in creating the conditions that allow the media to play its full role in advancing this vision. This includes ensuring press freedom, providing journalists with the tools and the resources they need, and safeguarding their right to report without fear or intimidation. Kenya is fully committed to continuing its leadership role in promoting peace and security in the IGAD region.
We gather not only to reward excellence, but also to reflect the power of media in the building resilient societies that inspires hope and further peace across the IGAD region and beyond. The year's theme, Narratives of Hope, towards inspiring, peaceful, secure, inclusive future for our region.
Further afield, striking Boeing workers have rejected a new offer from the plane-making giant, which included a 35% rise over 4 years. The International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers IAM Union said 64% of its members voted against the proposed deal. Details of this and more in the news making headlines from across the world.
50,000 of Boeing's employees have joined the walkout, which started on 13th September after an initial offer was rejected. Hours earlier, Boeing's boss, Kelly Ortberg, warned that the company is at a crossroads as losses at the firm surged to roughly $6 billion. Boeing has declined to comment on its latest offer being rejected. It is the second time that the striking workers have rejected a proposal deal in a formal vote. The previous offer was turned down last month by 95% of workers. Meanwhile, the world economy could contract by 7%, which is the size of the combined French and German economies, if there is a broad-based trade war between the world's major economies. The International Monetary Fund warns. It comes as concerns are heightened ahead of the possible re-election of Donald Trump in the U.S. Trump says he plans to introduce a universal tax or tariff of up to 20% on all imports into the U.S., while the European Union is already planning retaliation if Washington goes ahead with the new levy. Finally, Tanzania's electric train, a first for the region, has halved travel time between Dar es Salaam to Dodoma down to just 4 hours. It marks the starting point of one of the country's strategic projects, the building of a 2,560-kilometer standard gauge railway envisaged to connect key cities and link up with neighbors Burundi, Rwanda, and Democratic Republic of Congo. The 460-kilometer Dar es Salaam to Dodoma leg has been open since August, when President Samia Suluhu described the railway as a pathway to the future that would enhance Tanzania's standing in the region.
Back home, MultiChoice Kenya is challenging content creators to partner with the pay TV service provider to tell local stories. MultiChoice Kenya Managing Director Nzola Miranda says the firm is keen on drastically increasing local content on offer from the current 500 hours annually. Nzola made the remarks when MultiChoice announced a deal with Safaricom on streaming of DSTV and Showmax content.
We've been creating local stories for the last 30 years. We call ourselves Kenyan most loved storytellers because we create more than 500 hours of local content every year. And the ability of this partnership will give us, as Fauzia mentioned, will give us scale. I mean, with 97% coverage in the market, we want to spread local stories. We have done, a lot of studies that people would like to see themselves on TV. They like to hear the stories. They like to hear the accent. They like to hear the intonation. They like to see stories that are relevant to them.
I mean, music is part of our lives, whether it's a funeral, whether it's a celebration, music is part of our lives. Entertainment is part of our lives. So the opportunity now for people to be able to watch it at scale is now what this partnership provides. You're able to watch it on your phone, wherever you are, whatever time. So it's not time. You can watch it whatever time you want.
In sports, Rongai All-Stars Queens have secured their status as rising stars in Kenya's women football after clinching the highly coveted Tujiamini Initiative Gold Award in the just concluded South Rift Region nominations. Established in 2013, Rongai All-Stars Queens have made significant strides in women football, beginning their journey in the National Super League and developing into a powerhouse that continues to produce exceptional talent on the national and international stages. Notable among these talents is Rebecca Odato, who currently plays for the national under-17 side and who recently made headlines with the junior starlets at the FIFA Under-17 World's Women World Cup. Additionally, founding player Rael Kamanda, who currently plays in the Kenya Women's Premier League side Zitex Sparks, is another success story emerging from the club. The club secured themselves a $500,000 shillings cash award that will go into kitting the club as well as acquiring new equipment and improving their playing ground in Ongata Rongai, Kajiado County.
Development for now, kwa hii country Kenya, at least imeanza kugrow. Because unapata mpaka makocha wa national team, they are coming mpaka kwa ground kuangalia raw talents zenye ziko. Because sasa hii ukiangalia kama timu yenye iko Dominican ile World Cup, I have a girl there mwenye anafanya jersey number 20 Rebecca Odato. Ukiangalia msichana mali tulianza na yeye mpaka sasa na national team. Mtaa kama hii ya Kajiado ni wachache sana wamepata hiyo platform. Tukipata funding kwa community teams, at least tunaweza build very many talents.
All sports, we go back all the way. If we go back, we had a kayaker, we've been running, we've had community running clubs, community boxing clubs. We've really been able to have a wide reach and reach all grassroots sporting and talent initiatives.
Across borders, Rafinha scored a hat-trick as Spanish giant Barcelona humbled Bayern Munich 4-1 in the UEFA Champions League match played at the Estadio Olympic Luis. In other matches, Manchester City defeated Sparta Praha 5-0, while Liverpool beat host RB Leipzig 1-0.
Here's Akanji, and now Foden. Matheus Nunes steps up and converts very well.
And in our weekly segment, The Cabinet, today we do look at Raphael Tuju, who was a former powerful minister in the previous regime. Let's take a listen.
Raphael Tuju was born on 30th March 1959. He went to Njue Primary School in Siaya, from where he joined the Starehe Boys Center in Nairobi. Tuju holds a Master of Degree in Communication from the University of Leicester, United Kingdom. Before joining politics, Tuju worked as a consultant in design and implementation of public communication programs. Among other organizations and agencies he consulted for were the World Health Organization, the United States Agency for International Development, the World Bank, the Department for International Development, and the United Nations Development Programme. Tuju had in the late 1980s and early 1990s worked as a primetime television news anchor. Between 1992 and 2001, Tuju was the founder and director of Ace Communications. Besides, he had produced and directed several documentaries, television and radio commercials for international agencies, private sector bodies and public institutions. He had been a columnist for local newspapers, particularly the East African Standard. Even though the Kano government had partially liberalized the airwaves in 1996, rapid expansion of the broadcasting sector started in 2003 when Mwai Kibaki became Kenya's third president, appointing Tuju the Minister for Information and Tourism. In line with the NAC vision, Njue oversaw the allocation of numerous frequencies to private investors. This resulted in the birth of more than 50 privately owned radio stations in Kibaki's first term. It was during Njue's time at the Ministry of Information and Tourism that vernacular radio stations began popping up in large numbers with a marked growth of the privately owned television stations. Njue, who served as the Member of Parliament for Rarieda between 2003 and 2007, got into NAC thanks to his affiliation with Odinga's Liberal Democratic Party, LDP. This explains why his fallout with Odinga resulted in him losing the Rarieda parliamentary seat. On 8th August 2003, Njue announced that beginning 1st of January 2004, local television stations would be required to broadcast a minimum of 20% local content. For radio stations, he set the ratio at 30%. Soon after his appointment to the Information and Tourism docket, he was determined to have the Kenyatta International Convention Center taken from the KANU party leadership. He cited an executive order by the president and pointed out that the building belonged to the government and not the ousted ruling party. Njue served Kibaki's administration as the Information and Tourism Minister until 2005. In the run-up to the 2005 referendum, Njue formed the People's Progressive Party. The Kibaki-Odinga feud caused divisions in the Kibaki's first cabinet. It was in this scenario that Njue, Mudi Awori and George Saitoti switched allegiance to Kibaki. In the new cabinet, Kibaki appointed Njue Minister for Foreign Affairs. Njue served as the Minister for Foreign Affairs until the end of the first term of the Kibaki presidency. In 2007, Njue was appointed as Special Envoy and Presidential Advisor in the government. Njue served President Kibaki as one of his advisors until 2011 when he resigned to focus on his 2013 presidential bid. Afterwards, he formed Party of Action, the political vehicle through which he purposed to run for the presidency. In 2017, Njue became Jubilee's party's Secretary General, securing his place in the list of names of 9 trusted appointees President Uhuru Kenyatta inherited from Kibaki's administration. Jackie Wambiru, The Cabinet. Chirau Ali Makwere was born in 1945. He attended Kwale Primary and Intermediate School from 1952 to 1959 before joining Shimolatewa High School from 1960 to 1963. Between 1964 and 1966, he studied education at Kenyatta College, which later became Kenyatta University. After a teaching stint, he joined the University of Reading in the United Kingdom for a diploma in science, graduating in 1974 before proceeding to University of Birmingham from 1974 to 1976 and graduating with a degree in education. From 1982 to 1986, he pursued a master's degree in international transport and maritime studies at the University of Wales, Cardiff. Other courses he studied included Master Trainer Program from the University of Connecticut in the United States of America, Maritime Trainers course from Singapore Polytechnic and Educational Management and Administration at Morehouse College in Edinburgh, Scotland. In 1987, Makwere became a member of the Chartered Institute of Transport, United Kingdom. From 1978 to 1979, he was the political secretary at the Kenyan Embassy in Saudi Arabia before coming back home to be the pioneer principal of Bandari College in Mombasa, where he worked for 10 years until 1989. It was after Bandari that he joined politics, becoming the Deputy National Executive Officer at the Kano National Secretariat from 1989 to June 1991. He then went into self-employment until June 1992, when he was appointed Kenya's High Commissioner to Zimbabwe until 1998. His posting came with accreditation to Mozambique, Swaziland and Lesotho. From 1996 to 1997, Makwere was Kenya's special envoy to the Great Lakes region before becoming Kenya's ambassador to the United Arab Emirates, based in Abu Dhabi and accredited to Qatar from 1998 to 2000. On retiring from government service, Makwere took up a job with a multinational corporation based in the Middle East as a director of business development for Africa. It was with such a rich background in public and private service that he tried his luck in politics less than 3 months to the 2002 general election and won the Matuga constituency seat. He was appointed Assistant Minister for Foreign Affairs in President Mwai Kibaki's first cabinet. After 6 months, he was appointed Minister for Labour and Human Resource Development. He was behind the development of a series of labour laws. In 2004, he served as Minister for Foreign Affairs. This was probably the height of his political career. He presented the president at many high-level international events. In 2007, he retained his seat on a Party of National Unity ticket after his Shirikisho party joined the outfit that Kibaki had formed to counter Odinga's ODM. In April 2008, Kibaki appointed Makwere Minister for Transport, replacing John Michuki, who had introduced strict rules to tame the public service vehicle sector, especially the notorious matatus. The development of the Mombasa port, the laying of a foundation for the Lamu port, the upgrading of Kisumu Airport to international status, and revival of railway transport are attributed as some of his successes. In 2010, the court nullified Makwere's election, citing irregularities. He successfully defended his seat in the ensuing by-election and was appointed Minister for Trade. But barely a day after his appointment, he found himself in more problems with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, which accused him of engaging in hate speech during his campaigns. He also headed the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, where he once again came under criticism for failing to maintain the high standards set by Michuki. He also headed the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources, where he once again came under criticism for failing to maintain the standards set by Michuki. In the run-up to the 2013 elections, he joined William Ruto's United Republican Party and unsuccessfully contested the Kwale senatorial seat, losing to ODM's Boy Juma Boy. After another stint as ambassador, this time to Tanzania, he went back to politics. In 2016, as heat for the 2017 general election started gathering, he defected to ODM to contest the governorship against the incumbent Salim Mvurya. The former minister's demand for a direct nomination from ODM was met with resistance from other aspirants within the party. Cornered, he jumped to Musyoka's Wiper Democratic Movement Kenya party just days after defecting to ODM. But it was too little too late, and he failed to unseat Mvurya. Jackie Wambiru, The Cabinet. in 1948 in a small village in Kakamega, Newton Wanjala Kulundu went to Navaholo Primary School before proceeding to Namirama Intermediate School. He sat his ordinary and advanced level examination at Government African School Kakamega and Kenyatta College before enrolling at the University of Nairobi for a bachelor degree in medicine. He capped his academic studies with a master's degree in public health in California, United States. Thereafter, he worked for the Ministry of Health, East Africa Industries, and Brookbond, Kenya, before taking up politics. Contesting on a forum for the restoration of democracy Kenya Ford Kenya ticket in 1997, he defeated Javan Omani of the Kenya African National Union KANU and joined Parliament, where he chaired the Parliamentary Health Committee. 5 years later, he was elected under the banner of the National Rainbow Coalition (NAC) and was appointed Minister for Environment and Wildlife in January 2003. Kulundu's assistant minister was the Tetu Member of Parliament, world-acclaimed environmentalist and political activist, founder of the Green Belt movement, and later Nobel laureate Wangari Maathai. Together, they laid the ground for the establishment of the Kenya Forest Service Act of 2005, Hailed as one of the most stringent wildlife laws in the world, the Act made it difficult for ministers to excise government forest for development projects, as had been the norm in the past. It also set up the Kenya Forest Service, a better resourced state parastatal, to take over management of forests. Kulundu was then transferred to the Ministry of Labour and Human Resource Development. It had come to pass that while the political ground in his constituency shifted in favour of the Orange Democratic Movement towards the end of his second term as MP, Kulundu stood firm behind his party and chose to seek re-election of the Mwai Kibaki's Party of National Unity in 2007. He lost at the ballot to ODM's one-term Atanas Manyala Kea. Kulundu died 3 years later in 2010. Jackie Wambiru, The Cabinet.
The cabinet there featuring Tuju Kulundu and Chirau Ali Makwere, a seasoned politician. Zipapa just laps up KBC Lunchtime News this Thursday afternoon. Many thanks indeed for joining us, and on behalf of everyone who has made this broadcast a success, I wish you a fantastic afternoon ahead. And just a quick one is at exactly 2:30 p.m. we will be crossing over to the Milimani Law Courts, where the trial for the impeached Deputy President Thika Gachagua will be currently underway. My name is Njue. Thank you so much for joining us. Brian Muraru has been our sign language interpreter for this live newscast. Have a good one.
Are you a holder of unclaimed financial assets? All holders are notified to report and surrender unclaimed financial assets to the Unclaimed Financial Assets Authority, UFAA, on or before November 1st, 2024. It is now easier to report and surrender. Visit www.ufaa.go.ke and get started to beat the November 1st deadline. It's your turn. Report and surrender today. Please note that failure to report and surrender qualifying unclaimed financial assets attract penalties and sanctions in line with Section 33 of the UFAI